NJ, notice I'm a lot happier in these Raw rundowns when I don't have to watch a 3-hour Raw.
Have you seen that way?
Yeah, I do. We're the British Fist, guys.
Catching.
And in this video, we're going to be giving you our rundown of last night's edition of the 3-hour Raw. I am Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting next to me is none other than the one and only NJ.
I don't want to do anymore.
Why not?
What's up?
Oh, why not? What's up? Okay, fair enough. Subscribe above, like this video, comment any thoughts you have on this edition of the 3-hour Raw, which I didn't watch, thank God, down in the comment section below.
For saying that, it wasn't a bad Raw. And please make sure you contact us in the link in the description box below.
I've been hearing from a lot of people it was a pretty decent Raw. I went back and looked at some of the notes, and it seemed like the show was generally a lot better structured. There wasn't loads of segments. They allowed segments time to play out. And generally the show seemed quite well paced considering it was a 3-hour show. That's what I've heard. That's what I saw looking back at the notes. We also want you guys to give us some relevant talking points, whether it be from Raw, SmackDown, or from the news, so that when we do our British Fist wrestling rundown on Friday, we have some topics to talk about. We want to get you guys involved. So we're going to discuss like we said last week, four aspects of Raw: pay-per-view matches, in-ring action and booking, storyline advancement, character advancement, and at the end we're going to talk about the main talking point. But there are a couple of things I want to talk about this Raw first. You know, Kane, your favourite wrestlers, has the most matches in WWE history now today, I think. 899.
And I'm really glad that he has got an accomplishment like that in his career. It's just a shame that at this point in his career, he's not really the person you want to give the most matches to because he's not really where he should be, where he was once.
It shows you how good of a worker Kane is that he can work that amount of matches on the WWE TV show. Also, in 1 day's time, aka Wednesday, Punk will eclipse Hogan's 380-day title reign. It's nice to see that like a current guy is surpassing such a legend's title reign, even though right now he doesn't feel like a big deal.
Oh, great! And it gives WWE another chance to bash TNA when they speak about Hogan in this promo.
Yeah, and also he's got knee surgery right now, which is I don't know whether that's true or not. But
if it is, the WWE.com have announced it. But going up towards the pay-per-view, we have to see what kind of shape he's in for it.
No more wrestling for CM Punk until the pay-per-view, maybe even the Royal Rumble. Who knows? Right now, we're going to get on to talk about the one pay-per-view match that has been announced from this Raw. So the one match we got announced for TLC this week on this edition of Raw was John Cena versus Dolph Ziggler in a ladder match for the Money in the Bank. What do you think of this match being announced?
Okay, this is going back to John Cena fighting for the Money in the Bank. First, it was in that Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and now it's actually for a ladder match for the same thing that he lost the first time round. Yes, they made a little segment where he said, I'm not going to do it this time, but the fact that they're giving Cena another opportunity to get a Money in the Bank briefcase is ridiculous.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler has to win this, guys, and I still think he will win this despite the fact that he's jobbed twice to Cena on pre-TV. But I think the bigger talking point here is the segment that it was announced in. You had Vince McMahon come back in the third hour because last week Raw's third hour tanked 600,000 to announce this match in another very awkward segment with Vicky Guerrero. It doesn't seem like WWE are really using Vince that well. It's almost like they're not even writing his segments by the way this segment went down.
In the past few times Vince made an appearance, I've found it funny, entertaining in a way. This one threw it straight out the window. I thought this was horrible. It looks like Vince doesn't like Vicky that much. He's picking on her. It's like it's not like they've not planned this happen. Vicky's got to come up with ideas in her head, see how good she is on her own without any script or anything. And she's not doing a very good job. I think Vince is picking on her. It really felt that Vince was picking on her. And the match being announced this way, yes, it was Vicky's own idea, but I didn't like this segment.
After the third hour tanked 600,000 last week, WWE needed to do something to try and stop people from tuning out from that second hour into the third hour. So you can understand why they did it. I just didn't think the execution was very good on WWE's part in this segment.
And they followed it on with Ziggler not being happy that Vicky's power hungry is being affected by this, and the fact that he's having to face John Cena at the pay-per-view. Okay, at least we've got a match out of it.
Yeah, I like the fact Ziggler's at least involved with John Cena. I just wish they'd book him a little bit better, that's all. So we started the show off this week with not a promo, but a match. We had Team Hell No versus the Primetime Players. Team Hell No get the victory in this. Seems like the opening segment was there pretty much to allow the Shield to be involved in this match, really.
Yeah, I think that's the way it went down. The primetime players, you knew they were going to lose without the Shield. So in the way, this match went down exactly the way you do it. The tag team champions looked strong, ready for the title defense, or when they defend it at the pay-per-view, most probably.
Pretty much. And then we had AJ Lee versus Tamina in a Divas match. AJ Lee goes over. I just wonder, hasn't Tamina just returned as this monster diva? Why don't they save this for maybe a pay-per-view or something?
I'm about to say they've really affected the fact this could have been a feud for AJ to put her over eventually, but now she's already beat Tamina. That's really affected Tamina's push in a way.
Bad booking, in my opinion. Another example of bad booking, I think, here would be Sheamus and Cena versus Ziggler and Big Show. This has been teased from SmackDown when they're all involved with each other, but in this match, Cena pins Ziggler again. I mean, Ziggler has to win at the pay-per-view now, surely.
The idea of the match weren't horrible.
No, it was good,
obviously, it had the top faces and the heels who needed to climb and stuff. But the way I look at it is the fact that you've got the most strongly booked people together and the two that obviously are at the minute climbing their way up. And yeah, Ziggler getting pinned again. It weren't really the best thing for his build-up, especially now we've got the pay-per-view match.
Supposed to believe this guy is going to be a world champion and he's losing consecutively to guys like John Cena. I mean, this is ridiculous. Another example of bad booking. Del Rio versus Sin Cara. Now, you guys can say it was a great match, whatever, but really, what was the point? Del Rio gets the victory. I mean, did this forward on any storylines? No. So, what was the point of this match? I've seen it many, many times.
Even though Del Rio got the win, which I can't really see why, apart from to keep him looking strong over other wrestlers, Sin Cara did put on a good performance in this. Yes, he's probably going to match at the pay-per-view, so I think the performance he had in this match against Del Rio has helped him to look good, ready for the title match he's probably going to get down the line. But him to lose, I guess they have more want over Del Rio than Sin Cara.
They obviously think they get more out of Del Rio, but right now he's not even in a feud, so there we go. We also had Brad Maddox versus Orton in another match, which was like, let's see if I can get a contract. They basically booked this so Shield could get involved and attack Orton. And we'll talk more about the Shield as we go down the line, but you had Orton win clean, then the Shield attack. Why couldn't they have attacked and caused a DQ?
I look at this match quickly, and Brad Maddox obviously trying to get his contract again. Yes, that didn't work the first time, give him a second time, but Brad Maddox going against Orton. That's not really fair and really good, so you knew the outcome of this match. You knew Orton weren't really going to have Brad Maddox beating him.
I thought it was going to be Ryback personally, but hell, that would have been rehashing a story. That would have been rehashing a match which you've seen before. You know what WWE like. Then we get to what I feel was the best book segment of the night. You had Kofi Kingston, R-Truth versus Barrett and Cesaro in a tag match, but then out comes Teddy Long and changes it to a fatal four-way match, and we get the Raw Active thing where the US Championship is on the line. This was a different way of highlighting these two mid-card feuds, and I think this is the best showcase of the US title and the IC title I've seen in quite some time. So I think the idea of a fatal four-way here with Cesaro getting a very impressive victory has been by far the best thing they've done with Cesaro to beat three guys.
Even though the WWE are going with that poll thing, they only had a break, or it seems to have been a break to count all the votes up and that. I would have either had both titles on the line and just have some kind of battle royal or something, just to determine the new
both titles on the line.
Just like that, because this way, the way they did it by poll, we said in our last video, it's rigged, so I really didn't buy this. But the match, I'm going to say this. Really good match. I don't really agree that Wade Barrett should be in a mid-card feud, but the match itself, pretty strongly done indeed.
Like I said, it made Cesaro look pretty impressive, so I actually watched this match, so I thought this was a pretty nice way of highlighting a mid-card feud. Some example of good booking from this Raw.
I'm going to agree with Cesaro, as much as he needs to get people behind him, because I think the WWE are not doing the best job. The fact that he's gone into this match, beat Barrett, beat Kofi, beat R-Truth, it's done justice.
So in terms of character enhancement this week, the first thing that struck us was that Team Hell No are now united together. A lot of people were telling me that on SmackDown they're united together and didn't do this I'm the Tag Team Champion stuff. And I think really it's about time they did, because I believe their stick was getting a little bit stale. It's about time something about their character and dynamic changed.
Now they've got more of a stronger direction to go to against the Shield. Hopefully that will last, but in my opinion, I think they're going to bring back I'm the Tag Team Champions, because eventually they're going to go against each other in a feud.
We had a segment with CM Punk and Miz. Two things I took from this segment. CM Punk thinks he's the only reason why we tune in, and he dared people to tune out, which may have been a reverse tactic, a nice reverse tactic there. He may be right, though. There's a lot of people that may only ever tune in for CM Punk because they feel that he's the only interesting character on the show.
I think that's the way to go, especially when they were hyping up this. You know, Miz, a guy who I think should probably been a feud with CM Punk. This was the highlight going up to the end. The thought they added stuff to this segment throughout the show. I just thought this was obviously the big thing that really made Punk stand out by the end. And obviously the Miz, who, as we said in our last video, with the Miz TV stuff, this really was a good part of Raw.
And in our main talking point later on, because I'm going to hype it up like WWE try and do, we're going to be talking about the main event with Miz and CM Punk, so I look forward to that. I also got from here that Miz is still a babyface with no feud, but I will say here, at least they put him, rather than putting him against an Otunga, at least they're putting him in a segment with a top heel like CM Punk to try and get him over a little bit.
I think the two mic talking part of this was very nicely done for this, but we'll get to more detail about how well these two were against each other, or how bad they were against each other later.
Much more detail it will be. Also, notice for Damien Sandow this week, they did the same segment that they did on SmackDown. It was still really good, but they changed the last question. I like what they're doing here with the filler. It is filler, but it's filler until Cody Rhodes comes out. But at least to me, it's entertaining filler that I can really enjoy.
That's the thing. When I look at Sandow, the fact that he's had the bad luck of losing his probably other tag team champion partner in Cody Rhodes, they need to find him something to do just so he's still on TV, building up his character before Cody comes back to help him go for the tag team championship, or whatever they're going to do with them. And this TV segment, TV time, not really wrestling the best capacity, but it was entertaining, which was what the WWE need.
World Wrestling Entertainment there. And also, last one, why is Kofi the Wildcat? He hasn't changed anything, but they're making him seem like he's the Wildcat, and I don't know why. Nothing's changed about his character.
I think the fact that he's going to mid-card, they're going to really try and pump him up to make him still look important. He's going to have a tag team, but the nickname doesn't really work for him.
Really doesn't. So if you have any thoughts on the character enhancement in this week's edition of Raw, let us know in the comment section below. Now we're going to talk about, I guess, the second most important aspect of this, and that is the storyline advancement. So first, touching on the Shield, because they're the main storyline going through WWE right now. I noticed from this Raw, the Shield were all over the place, weren't they? They were in the opener with Team Hell No. They were in the main event. They were in a segment with Orton. They were on the show this week 3 times, so we saw a lot of the Shield. Do you think this is a good thing?
As much as I do want to see the Shield keep progressing, I think the fact that they're great, awesome promo that I still enjoy and watch from last time, the fact they had their direction, they had their planning on what they're going to do, and all of a sudden they're attacking people that they may not need to attack, it does maybe be a bit too much. But I'm sure there's a reason by the end.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're just they're just going to attack anyone who's an injustice to them, so they'll probably end up attacking loads of baby faces. They also had a segment. They teased the Team Hell No Shield feud. I think they've attacked them on last Raw. They attacked them on SmackDown. They're the reason why the Team Hell No have come together. Then they attacked them in the opener. Do you think that this storyline will go towards a tag team title match? Because I feel there is a slight possibility.
There is a chance, but at the minute they're aiming for the higher guys, Ryback, Orton, probably Cena. So I think at the minute they're wrapped up with the title or the main eventers. Maybe when they've run out of ideas or they've finished that storyline, they may step down to the tag.
They teased this week with the Brad Maddox segment that they could be involved with Brad Maddox. They pretty much saved him from Orton. Do you feel that is definitely the case that Brad Maddox is going to be involved, especially now we know the news that he is a Triple H guy and they do probably want to feature him at some point down the line?
From the very beginning, yes, we thought it was Punk at first, but as soon as it realised it weren't Punk, Maddox was the number one thing. Because I don't think Maddox has been written off completely. I think even though he's lost his 2 chances to get the contract, the fact you keep saying by the end of tonight you're going to remember Brad Maddox, I think this is definitely leading up to the Shield being the reason why people remember who he is.
Yeah, so a lot of Shield involvement this week, which I think was a good idea, is that you do need to try and establish these guys as like a group that's going to go after anyone. We also, no promo segments this week from the AJ Lee Cena scandal. Thank God for that. It seems the scandal is over now, and because everyone's now accepting, especially even the WWE, that it was, even Vince McMahon himself said it was a waste of time, this scandal thing, proving how stupid the whole storyline was in the first place. But no promo segments, no shitty promo segments, just matches this week to advance this Cena Ziggler storyline and the AJ Tamina / Vicky storyline.
I'm really hoping that it does finish, but with the fact that Ziggler and Vicky are still connected, Cena and Ziggler are having a match, it could come back another week, but for now, the fact they did not get involved this week was a highlight.
Thank you very much. Big Show and Sheamus were involved in that feud. The World Championship match is involved in that tag match with Cena and Ziggler. They will probably do something bigger on SmackDown, you'd think. Maybe make that the highlight of SmackDown.
I do think with these two, the fact they do need more progression, probably before their last match or the next pay-per-view match, they do need something, and I think SmackDown is probably their show and something to showcase what they're going on to do next.
Be a highlight on the B show, essentially. And then we get to the two mid-card feuds. Barrett and Kofi and Cesaro and Truth look like they're definitely going to be continuing onwards. They had that US title Fatal 4-Way, which I thought was a decent way of progressing along. Even though it didn't really advance any storylines, it was a nice way of trying to highlight these two feuds on Raw, which I said in the Booking and Ring segment.
It sparked a pretty strong way. Cesaro looked good. You could say Barrett looked good, Kofi looked good, and R-Truth looked good. So I look forward to seeing how much they continue to build up Cesaro's character.
So I guess as per usual with WWE, the main talking point is the main event. We had the lie detector test, in Miz TV between Miz and CM Punk, where Miz wanted to basically show that CM Punk was lying about his association with the Shield. Now, the first thing I noticed about this segment when I watched it back was it seems like these two really hate each other. By the way they were talking, by the way they were addressing and trying to one-up each other, it really did seem like these guys had real heat. And this is why I really wanted to see a feud between Punk and Miz for quite some time.
And this is the reason why I'm so for Miz's face turn, because now he's going to go against another great mic talker in CM Punk. Then these other feuds going down the line. But this, they actually did try and battle against each other, show who's the best, really bring out the negative points about each other, about their careers. This was comedy, but at the same time, what we're going to go on to, I did feel that it became a bit childish.
The lie detector, it did get a little bit childish when Miz started saying, your mum, but it was still, I found it an entertaining...
Your mum sucks!
Your mum is in there. So she probably heard that and is probably going to come in now and kick your ass. So there we go. So we get to this lie detector test. Yeah, you should be worried. My mum is going to kick your ass now. We get to the lie detector test, and we get Punk is about to give an answer to the Miz when the Shield storm the ring, and this is where the segment starts getting more interesting. The Shield attack Miz, and then out comes Team Hell No, then out comes Ryback. They all start brawling outside the ring. What did you think to this leading up to the bit when Ryback and CM Punk ended the show?
I think following the lie detector test, there needed to be something more directional, and the fact when it came to the point that everyone was waiting for, the Shield to come out, yes, it's still teasing CM Punk and the Shield. We're probably going to get more of it at the pay-per-view. Then Ryback coming out, Ryback looking strong, which again, the WWE's main focus is. So I think they did accomplish it a lot after the lie detecting test.
Yes. I mean, they have to make the babyfaces look somewhat strong at some point. I wouldn't say they buried the Shield here because it was 3-on-3. It was the first legit fight that the Shield had been involved in. So if anyone out there thinks the Shield have been buried, I'm afraid you're wrong. That is just ridiculous. And then we get to the main, and this was what I liked about this segment. The main focus was on the main event feud at TLC. It wasn't on the Shield, it was on the main event at TLC when you have Ryback coming inside the ring and uses tables, ladders and chairs to destroy CM Punk. That was what I feel was... because CM Punk hasn't really had the focus put on him. So having Ryback and him ending out the show, I thought, was a lot better way to do this week than have the Shield end the show and overshadow Punk and Ryback again.
My small problem with this is that, yes, the Shield stuff is hinting a lot, but the thing about this is that Ryback seems a lot of the time, apart from screwy finish at pay-per-views, it seems like Ryback seems to have the overpowering Punk. Look, puts him in his finisher. I haven't really seen CM Punk at the end of Raw or something knock out Ryback yet.
It's probably because a lot of people on the TV scheme probably couldn't believe a scrawny ass like Punk could beat a guy like Ryback up, hence why Ryback is being booked so strong, and CM Punk really isn't, because that is the reality. A guy like Ryback, if you put him in a fight with CM Punk, you want people to believe what is going on there, and in order to make people believe what's going on there, you can't have a guy like CM Punk beat up a guy like Ryback, because that just isn't believable. That's why CM Punk is losing in the way he is, screwy finishes and stuff like that.
I just believe that with the Shield stuff, they could have made CM Punk come out on top over Ryback.
They've done it a couple of times now.
I guess we've got one more week to do it and see who comes out on top then. But this, yes, it's definitely done more for their next pay-per-view match.
So you've heard our thoughts on Raw. Now we invite you guys to give us your thoughts on Raw. Put your thoughts on Raw, as I repeated myself so much, down in the comment section below. And also, if you have any topics or talking points to do with Raw or SmackDown and anything general in the news this week, please raise them with us by our YouTube inbox or commenting below so we can include them on our British Fist Wrestling Rundown video this Friday.
And even though we gave compliments to this Raw, it's still not enough for us to watch it again. But please share us your thoughts on Raw, the good points that we've said, and any ones we may have missed in the comment section below. And all I'll say is thank you very much for watching. And from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, thank you very much for watching. And goodbye.